If you are driving an EV, let's have a look at top battery killing mistakes every EV owner makes. Well, these mistakes don't just drain your battery for a single trip, they contribute to long-term accelerated battery degradation, reducing your car's overall range and lifespan. Number one is the always plug-in mindset, especially after the car has been fully charged to 100%. Treating your EV like a phone, plug it in every time you get home and leaving it sitting at 100% state of charge for hours or days is really bad. Lithium-ion batteries are happiest at around 50% charge. Being held at extremely high level of charge, at full charge for example, is not good. Or leaving it extremely low at 0% state of charge for prolonged period. This all puts significant stress on the battery chemistry, accelerating capacity wear. So, use your car's scheduled charging features. Set it to finish charging just before you need to leave. For daily use, set your charge limit to 80%, which is very nice, by the way. 80% charge. Save 100% charges for when you actually need the full range for a trip. So, avoid keeping your charger at 100% state of charge, or avoid keeping your battery at 0%. This will definitely shorten the lifespan of your lithium-ion battery. The second common mistake is over-reliance on DC fast charging. That's good again. Using rapid DC fast chargers like Tesla superchargers or Electrify American Station as your primary charging method because it is quick and convenient is not good whatsoever. DC fast charging pumps huge amount of energy into the battery very quickly. What will this generate? This will generate significant heat internally. And heat is the number one enemy of battery longevity. Frequent fast charging accelerates the degradation of battery cells. Period. So don't use fast charging always. Instead, use level 2 chargers. You can use level 2 AC charging at home or at workstation. This will keep your battery charged moderately. 3. Consistently draining the battery to nearly empty. Regularly driving the battery down to very low level. For example, it could be 10% or it could be 0% before charging it. This is also not good. Like keeping it at 100%, keeping the battery at very low state of charge is stressful. It increases internal resistance and that can lead to faster degradation of your battery over time. The best practice is to keep your battery between 20% and 80% rather than constantly cycling it from 0 to 100%. So keeping your battery in between 20% and 80% will prolong the service life of your lithium-ion battery. So it is recommended to keep it between those two values. Not 0%, but 20%. Not 100%, but 80% state of charge. Number 4, ignoring extreme temperatures. Leaving the car unplugged for extended periods in very hot or freezing cold weather. So, what could be the problem? Now, when it is extremely hot, heat causes chemical degradation and can prematurely reduce battery capacity. But when it is cold actually doesn't cause permanent damage as quickly as heat, but it makes the battery inefficient and sluggish. More critically, if the battery is too cold and you try to fast charge, then you can cause lithium plating, which is an irreversible damage to the internal construction of the lithium-ion battery. So what can you do to fix this? Plug in when it's extreme out. When plugged in, the car can use wall power to heat or cool the battery to a safe temperature, preserving its health. Use your car's preconditioning features to warm up or cool down the cabin and the battery before you start to drive. The fifth mistake is letting the car sit for weeks at a low or extremely high state of charge. This is when going on vacation and leaving your EV sitting in the garage at 5% state of charge or 95% state of charge for weeks. Now, A battery slowly discharges when it is idling. We call it vampire drain. If it is already low, it could drain to a critical low level, which can permanently damage the cells. Sitting at very high state of charge also accelerates degradation. So what can you do? If you are leaving the car for a long time, then charge it to about 50 to 60% first, and then leave it unplugged. 50% is the most stable state of charge for long-term storage. If possible, leave it in a temperate garage. So this will prolong the service life of your battery. The sixth mistake is never using the scheduled departure feature. Charging immediately upon plugging in rather than timing it correctly. This is a big mistake. This feature isn't just for preheating the cabin. Its biggest benefit is to battery preconditioning. The car will intelligently charge and just before departure use power from the wall to warm the battery to its ideal operating temperature. So you tell the car when you want to leave, and then it will handle everything. Finishing charging at the right time and ensuring the battery and cabin are perfectly prepared. This is much more efficient and healthier for the battery than using its own stored energy to heat itself up after you start driving. So never using the scheduled departure feature is also another common mistake committed by EV owners. Ignoring the high voltage system health is another problem. Never servicing the car or ignoring warnings related to the cooling system. The battery pack has a complex thermal management system. There is liquid cooling and heating. If the coolant degrades or if the pump fails, the battery can overheat or it can fail to heat up properly, leading to rapid degradation or even total failure of the battery pack. So, follow the manufacturer's recommended service schedule. While EVs require less maintenance, they are not maintenance free. Have the cooling system and other key components checked as advised. Number 8 is the quick top-up and anxiety avoidance. Avoiding charging sessions because you only have a short time to plug in, thinking it's not worth it for just a small amount of range. This is also a common mistake. Lithium-ion batteries actually prefer shallow discharge cycle. Plugging in for even an hour on a level 2 charger to add 20 to 30 miles is far less stressful on the battery than running it down another 20 to 30 miles and doing a deep cycle later. It keeps the state of charge in the happy medium more consistently. So get in the habit of grabbing electrons whenever it's convenient. A little bit often is better than a lot infrequently. Number 9, abusing sport mode as the default. Driving exclusively in sport or maximum performance mode because of the instant torque is also killing to the battery. Consistently demanding maximum power from the battery generates more heat and puts the pack under high load. While designed for performance, using it as your daily driving mode contributes to slightly faster degradation over tens of thousands of miles. So, use the standard or chill mode for daily commuting and city driving. Save the high performance mode for when you want to truly enjoy them. Your battery and your tires will thank you later. Number 10 is ignoring the chemistry. Treat all EV batteries the same. This is also a mistake. There are two main types of lithium-ion chemistries in modern EVs, and they have different care. The nickel, cobalt, aluminum, nickel, manganese, cobalt found in most Tesla, Hyundai, Kia, GM, and other vehicles, these batteries should be charged to 80 to 90% for daily use. And the lithium iron phosphate battery, which is used in standard range Tesla and many Ford Mustang and other manufacturers, the manufacturers explicitly recommend you to charge lithium iron phosphate batteries to 100% at least once per week. They are chemically much more stable and do not suffer the same degradation at full charge. Not knowing which battery you have is a mistake. So always confirm your battery chemistry, check your manual or your car's charging screen, and tailor your charging habit to your battery's specific need. The 11th mistake is the vampire drain neglect that we mentioned earlier. This is when people leave energy draining features on while the car is parked for a long period. Features like Sentry mode, cabin overheat protection, and constant third-party app checking prevents the car from going into a deep sleep. This vampire drain can sap several miles of range per day. While it seems small, constantly cycling the battery to power these features instead of letting it to rest contribute to long-term wear. So, if you are parking at an airport for a week or in a secure garage, then disable Sentry mode and cabin overheat protection. Use power-saving modes if available and let the car sleep peacefully. The other mistake is number 12, missing the preconditioning window before DC fast charging. This is like navigating to fast charger without using the car's built-in navigate to charger feature. When you tell the car navigate to route to a DC fast charger, it performs a critical task, battery preconditioning. It actively warms the battery to its ideal charging temperature, which is around 30 to 35 degrees centigrade or 86 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. A warm battery accepts charge much faster and with less stress than a cold one. Always use the in-car navigation to route to fast charger stations. Even if you know the way, this simple act is one of the most important things you can do to protect your battery during high-stress fast charging sessions, especially in cold weathers. And finally, overlooking the 12-volt battery health is another mistake. This is when you forget that your EV still has a traditional 12-volt battery that powers the computers and contactors. If the 12-volt battery dies, your car is a brick. It cannot wake up the high-voltage battery to power the car or even charge the 12-volt battery. A weak 12-volt battery causes constant electrical faults and can prevent the main battery from charging properly. So, always be aware of your 12-volt battery lifespan. It usually ranges from 3 to 5 years. Replace it proactively when it nears end of life to avoid being stranded and causing unnecessary strain on the entire electrical system. Well, there are actually some things that you can do. There are some golden rules for your EV battery longevity. The first thing is always charge your EV battery from 80 to 90% for daily use. Don't charge it to 100% unless it is recommended by the manufacturer, and don't let it sit at very high, greater than 90%. Don't use DC fast charging as your main charging alternative. It is a tool for travel, not for daily life. Plug in during extreme temperature. Let the wall power manage the battery temperature as well. So the final thing you can do is plan ahead. Use scheduled departure and charging features. They are your best friends. So by avoiding these common mistakes, you will maximize your EV's range and ensure its battery remains healthy for years and hundreds of thousands of miles to come. The ultimate philosophy is be a state of charge manager. Think of yourself not just as a driver, but as a manager for your battery state of charge. Your goal is to keep it in the comfort zone, roughly from 20% to 80% state of charge, and as much as possible, keep it in this range, only venturing to the extreme 100% and 0% when necessary for a trip, and to minimize the time it spent at those extreme conditions. By adopting these more advanced habits, you move from simply avoiding damage to actively optimizing your battery's long-term health and performance. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you in this video regarding some of the common mistakes that kill your EV battery and some of the common mistakes committed by EV owners. If you find this video helpful and if you like what has been presented, please smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, do consider subscribing. Turn on notifications so that you will be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.